It's the final Friday. It's the final countdown. It's the final football Friday before the NFL draft. So we're going to run Eagles Trending in the AM mock draft 3.0 today. Part 2 of today's show. It's WrestleMania weekend. Might not be that excited for WrestleMania this year, but we're still going to give our predictions and thoughts on the state of wrestling because it's the Granddaddy of them all this weekend. It's Easter weekend as well. And, of course, did the Phillies win last night? Spoiler alert, yay, they did. Woo! We're going to talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly from the Phillies game as well. Trending in the AM this football Friday, we're live, taking your thoughts on opinions on everything in 30 seconds. Is my video not working?
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. Guys, do me that favor. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to do. It does not cost you a thing. I need 2 more of these on the YouTube channel to hit 500. 2 more subscribers. Let's go. Let's get this done. It helps by going like, share, subscribe, guys. Let's continue to grow this great channel from scratch. Something on my own. I greatly appreciate it, guys. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, and we got lots to talk about today as we've got final Friday before the NFL draft, so we're going to run a mock draft in a little bit. Phillies beat the Giants to split that series 2-2, and I got some thoughts, good and bad, on the Philadelphia Phillies to cover today. It's mock draft season. It's baseball season, but, of course, it's also WrestleMania season. And I could be not as I couldn't be as little excited as I am right now for WrestleMania. I am completely not excited for WrestleMania this weekend. But, of course, I'll watch some of it as the weekend goes on. So we're going to give later in the show my final WrestleMania predictions. Plus, it's Easter. The Easter Bunny is coming. It's kind of just another day for me. It's just kind of a day off for me. So that is what it is. So we're going to dive into it all today. We're going to start with Phillies. We're going to do our mock draft. We'll close with WrestleMania, but whatever else anybody wants to talk about, we will get into it. Happy Friday, Steven. Stott needs to be the leadoff man from here on out. I'm sick of saying it. I went digging yesterday, Steven. Actually, I went digging like 2 days ago to find when the earliest tweet I could find of me saying this exact same thing. And I found a tweet from August of 2022 of me. And I think I probably said it sooner than that. But from August 22, when I first said Stott needs to be the leadoff hitter on this team. And he's doing very well with it. He's doing good with it, and I think it's the right answer. Now, the Phillies lineup has a big issue. Well, it has a lot of issues. But a new issue, and that is Nick Castellanos, one of our more consistent hitters this season, has a hip flexor strain, something like that, got hurt in the game yesterday. I don't know what they're going to do. They already have a massive void, black hole in center field with Brandon Marsh banged up and stinking. Johan Rojas can't play center field. I mean, luckily, Weston Wilson's about to return, so he can fill in a portion of that. But the Phillies have an outfield issue right now. And there's too many issues with it to see it magically happen. It's a damn shame they didn't trade for Kyle Tucker. But, yes, Bryson Stott needs to be the leadoff man. What is up, Gandhi? How you doing this morning? I hope you are well. Justin Thomas, boy, yeah, absolutely. Missing a 4-foot putt to set the course record. That stands out to me more than the 61 K1. That he had a short little putt for course record in the 60 and missed it. Normally, when Justin Thomas, K1, shoots a low round, he follows it up with even par or worse. So, not really liking Justin Thomas' position after round one. Well, congratulations to your little brother, little G. Hope you are well this morning. Best of wishes this Easter season to your family. They said Casty can play tonight. Hopefully that stays on track. Did not hear that part of it. Okay. Whenever you hear somebody that's actually hitting on this team going down with an injury, and Castellanos still hitting over 300, still having over 850 OPS, it was very concerning hearing that he had a hip flex. Anything with that hip, it's kind of like one of those lingering injuries, lingering issues. So it's a shame that the outfield, Kylie, is in such bad shape because you can't give him a day off. Like, what would they do tonight if Casty had a miss? You got Casty out, you got Marsh out. Who's your right fielder? You're going to go Casty. You're stuck putting Kyle Schwarber out there in left field, Kepler in right, and Rojas in center. That would be your theoretical. Oh, man, that's brutal. So Marsh Casty better be okay. But the Philadelphia Phillies definitely need to figure out center field going forward because it can't be Marsh and it can't be Rojas. Crawford supposedly isn't ready. He's too young, not experienced enough, whatever. I mean, he can't do any worse. Weston Wilson will provide some relief. But I don't know what the Phillies should do with their outfield. The one thing I do know is what Steven said with the first comment of the day, and that is that Bryson Stott should be the leadoff hitter. And, I did some shorts yesterday. I did some videos yesterday. I've done it nonstop on this show. I've constantly called out Rob Thomson. But let me just say that as much as Rob Thomson is to blame, and we're going to get into his pregame comments in a minute, Dave Dombrowski is as much to blame for the Phillies situation as Rob Thomson. Dave Dombrowski is the one that did not get us a center fielder, that went into this season giving us Brandon Marsh and Rojas. Dave Dombrowski is the one that built this bullpen, that we get a 3-run lead, and I'm not confident that we can hold it in the 9th inning. Dave Dombrowski is the one that chose to retain Rob Thomson, chose to retain Kevin Long, chose to basically run the same disappointing team the last 2 years back. So I think it's just as much time that we start calling out and criticizing Dave Dombrowski as it is Rob Thomson. Now, we're going to get into the NFL draft in a few minutes here, waiting for more people to join the show before we do the mock draft. And guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, that share button, and that subscribe button. 2 away from 500, starting the show 498 subscribers. Rob Thomson needs to learn how to read a room, first and foremost. Rob Thomson needs to figure out how to speak to the media and the fans. Rob Thomson, despite going into the game yesterday 10-8, getting asked questions about the struggles and the situation with this team, his answer to the media that he knows is going to go right out to the fans. Rob Thomson says to the fans and the media, well, if we win today, we have the same record as we did at this point last year, and they did win yesterday. So they have the exact same record through 19 games as they did last year, 11-8. When that is your answer to the struggles of your team, that tells me you have no clue. You have no pulse. You have no way of trying to even try to make the fans care about what's going on. Last year's team fell apart in the playoffs. Last year's team was a 500 team from June on. This year's team starts 4-1. Guess what? They're 7-7 since then. They are a 500 team that spikes for stretches, little stretches sometimes. So just saying, well, we're the same as last year. Well, does that mean that we're just going to fall short again? Because that's what you're saying. You're saying that this team is the same team as last year. Well, last year's team failed. So Rob Thomson, Dave Dombrowski are where the changes need to start with this Phillies organization. I mean, Christopher Sanchez had a great game yesterday. A lot of good things happened yesterday in the game. Stott played well in the leadoff spot. Kirkland had a clean inning, which you love to see. Kyle Schwarber continued to thrive in the cleanup role. Lots of good things are happening with the Phillies. But You gotta start. Gotta start with Rob Thomson and Dave Dombrowski. Scotty Scheffler should have shot better. Scotty Scheffler looked like he was swinging really good. And Scotty Scheffler said after the round, well, compared to last week at the Masters, this was an easy round of golf. Content, we're talking Eagles mock draft in a little bit here. Waiting for the build-up, more people to join the show. Then we're talking Phillies. And then at the end, we are talking WrestleMania. Welcome to WrestleMania. That's my best Vince McMahon voice. Does your mock draft include trades, Phil? We're going to put up the trades that the computer offers. We'll have to decide on the spot whether we accept those trades or not. What we do. It's going to be a combination effort between what you guys think and what I think. We're going to do a cumulative trending in the AM Core 12 mock draft where everybody has a say. I'm still droning on about Rob Thomson. Hey, you know what? My Rob Thomson, rants on shorts yesterday gained me 2 extra subscribers. Got me 2 subscribers closer to 500, K1. And again, like, share, subscribe, guys. Those people watching on Twitter, you join the YouTube page linked in the bio and head on over there and subscribe. I'm going to drown on about Rob Thomson as long as I want to. As long as I can. Until I get what I want, which is him gone. For those that don't know me from 2-3 years ago, the show's been going on. We're in our 5th year doing this show. For those that don't know, this was exactly every morning show in 2022, up until June when Joe Girardi got fired for Rob Thomson. So I do have enough influence to get a manager fired. I got Joe Girardi fired for Rob Thomson. I didn't pick Rob Thomson. The Phillies did. But I'll drone on and on and on. You want me to stop talking Phillies? Well, then make sure we hit 500 right now. And then I will stop talking Phillies. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. I mean, Eagles related. Before we get into the mock draft, read an interesting article, Ed Kratz. I don't know if I'm the kingmaker per se, but I mean, it's a fair description of what I am. It is. It's fair. It's not perfect, but it's pretty fair. Read an interesting article about Ed Kratz, by Ed Kratz, about the draft and all the people that do mock drafts and these idiotic sites that put out proposed trades, like the Devontae Smith for Jalen Ramsey trade. People think that the Eagles are going to trade for T.J. Watt. I think it's very important for Eagles fans to think one important thing about this draft and mock drafts in general. You can't just mock anything you want. I mean, you can, but you're setting yourself up for failure. The Eagles have a plan. And Howie Roseman's blueprint and plan for next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is pretty clear as day. Howie is not mortgaging the future for T.J. Watt. Howie is not trading Devontae Smith for Jalen Ramsey. Howie's not trading for Trey Hendrickson to pay him big money. Now, I saw somebody mock, I think it was Anthony DeBona, Kayvon Thibodeau to the Eagles. That makes more sense. And why? Because Howie's philosophy is to build a young team. He does not want a bunch of 30-plus-year-olds on this team. He doesn't want to pay people for past success. He wants to pay them for what the success is now and coming up in the future. Howie Roseman's not going to trade for T.J. Watt and have to pay him $35 million. Howie Roseman's not going to trade for Jalen Ramsey, even if it doesn't involve Devontae Smith, because he's making close to $30 million a year. Money for the future and youth. That is the thread and the idea and the theme of this offseason. And anybody that does anything other than that, this offseason, draft-wise, preparing for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday next week, is just lying to you. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday. I'm vibing right now. I can have a little humbleness in me, a little fake humbleness in me. Why not? I mean, if it was anything else other than youthfulness and saving money for the future, then Dallas Goedert wouldn't be on the trade block right now. He would negotiate and get a deal done. If it was anything but that, he would have already picked up Jordan Davis's fifth-year option. Money for the future and youth. That is the key. That is the key for this Eagles offseason. And Harry Roseman's been blatantly open, blatantly obvious about what this plan is. So anybody that does these crazy mock drafts, crazy proposals, they're just lying to themselves and they're lying to you. Good morning, John. Hope you are well this Friday. Like, share, subscribe to everybody jumping in. A little bit late this morning. I'm not late. The Core 12's late. Can't wait till the school year ends. So I'd be annoying in these comments all summer. Well, you know where I'll be all summer long? Right here. Accepting all that annoyance. That's what I do. That's what I'll be doing. Good morning, Adam. Hope you are well this morning as well. Hope everybody is well. Can we get 2 more of these? 2 more. Someone keep a track of it. We started at 498. As soon as we hit 500 today, somebody let me know. I want to know exactly when number 500 hits. So keep that coming. Keep it coming, guys. We'll start this mock draft in just a little bit. But right now we're talking Phillies. We're talking Eagles. And when I talk Philadelphia Eagles, it kind of relates to the Phillies as well. Because what I'm telling Eagles fans with this draft that's upcoming is to be realistic with yourself on what to expect. Phillies fans, Eagles fans do realistically see, for the most part, what's happened. Phillies fans look at it like blindly. Phillies fans don't have an open mind to what's really happened in front of them. Eagles fans aren't blindly loyal. Phillies fans are blindly loyal. The same people that are telling me that Daryl Morey shouldn't be fired or that this Sixers team will eat next year are the same ones that just magically think that the Phillies are going to just randomly win a World Series. I mean, K1, you're saying Phillies fans are annoying. Just go to some of the comments of some of the short videos I put out there on the Phillies recently. Telling me I don't know and this and that. Just because Rob Thomson has this great winning percentage in the regular season, Rob Thomson should have a great winning percentage. When you're putting out 7, 8 All-Stars on a nightly basis, you should win a majority of your games. It doesn't make you a good team. Titles aren't won in the regular season. They're won in the playoffs. They're won in the postseason. Daryl Morey's put together a lot of great regular season teams. He hasn't won a title yet. It's really annoying how blatantly blind Phillies fans are to the problem that the team has. The Eagles can lose one game, and every single Eagles fan is ready to jump off a cliff, drive their car right off the edge. The Phillies lose regularly in the playoffs year after year after year, and you're told, don't worry, next year they'll get them. There's this weird blind loyalty. And maybe it's because the Phillies have lost so much in our lifetime, although they have the same amount of championships as the Eagles do, Super Bowls. Maybe that's part of it. But the blind loyalty is so annoying to me that they can't see what's right in front of them. I don't think we are that annoying. Okay, maybe a little. The blind loyalists of the Phillies are annoying. They really, really, truly are. Again, last year we were 2-2 to start the season with the Eagles, with going to Brazil, basically having 3 road games to start the year. You go to Brazil. You win in Brazil. You lose week 2 against Atlanta on a drop pass that should have been caught, which would have won the game. You win week 3. Week 4, you get smoked by the Bucs, who just have Jalen Hurts' number, Todd Bowles. And they were ready to jump off the cliff. Fire Sirianni. Bench Jalen Hurts. XYZ, this team is trash, trash, trash. And they win a Super Bowl. But the Phillies have done this every single year. It's not okay for the Eagles, but it's okay for the Phillies. I don't get it. It's annoying. Wonder what the percentage of Eagles fans are Phillies fans too. Well, everybody's a Phillies, Eagles, Sixers fan. The percentage of people that are blind loyalists to the Phillies are probably the same people that call out the Eagles every chance they get at them. I think there's a lot of similarities or similar paths there. And it drives me nuts. It drives me completely insane. Those two, those people. I look at everything with all my Philly teams in a very realistic way. I'm a realist. I'll tell you when I don't think the Eagles got it. I'll tell you when the Phillies don't got it. I'll tell you when the Sixers don't got it. And I'll tell you when the Flyers don't got it. But it seems like, for some reason, the Phillies get this random pass all the time. And it's annoying to me. Well, let's go. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Big Al. I do. It'll be a fight. It'll be a fight to the finish. But all that's going to happen when I say when we get to 500 is I'm going to change my thread to get to 1,000 now. And then after that, it'll be get to 10,000. Well, maybe I'll go 5,000 after 1,000. I'm just going to constantly be annoying till at the end of days, asking for subscribers and likes and shares. That's how you do this. That's how you build it. You don't get to 20,000 subscribers without trying, or you pay for them, and that's just fake. Right, Mitchie Poo? But anyway, let me pull up the shared screen here. Let me pull up Mock Draft 3.0. Okay? Let's get this screen set up. Let's go. I wish I could do that one there. That don't work. We want that one, or do we want that one? No, we don't. We definitely don't want that one. We'll go that one. We'll go that one. Okay? There is our mock draft screen. We are not going to start it just yet. We're going to look at this first, and we're going to run it through 5, and we're going to pause the draft before the Eagles a few times here because I want to, in theory, look at how the board plays out. I did run a mock draft this morning before the show happens, and for only the second time of me running this mock draft simulator 500 times did Malachi Starks fall to the Eagles at 32. Now, PFN needs to up their game. They got to include players in trades and stuff like that. I'm not paying for PFF to use their mock draft simulator, which includes player trades. I would love to, but I'm not spending the money on it because I know any mock draft is just unrealistic to an extent. But PFN needs to up. If they're going to continue to go free, they need to stay the number one and add some of those PFF features is what they need to do. But we're just going to hit resume draft here, and we're going to pause it after 7. Oh, there we go. After 7. All right, so after 7 picks, Cam Ward obviously 1. Abdul Carter going 2 is the smart thing. Hunter 3. Will Campbell went 7. And sitting there still at 8. Sanders is still. I'm starting to see more and more mock drafts with Sanders falling further and further down the mock draft board. Phil's won because I didn't watch and bring the truth energy. Well, I watched and brought the truth energy. And they won because I was bringing so much heat to them, Nooms, on social media. And as soon as I start bringing that heat to them, then they just try to magically just prove me wrong. So somebody could say, you're an idiot and don't know what you're talking about. That's realistically what they did and why they did it. That is the truth. Whenever I decide to have a day where I feel like criticizing the Phillies extra harshly, that is when all the wheels fall off. Sanders shouldn't be drafted. Oh, he shouldn't. Sanders is going to be a bomb, a total bust in the NFL. But he will get drafted in the first round. Now, I've seen him fall to the 20s a few times. I don't think that happens. I think he's going to go in the top 15 most drafts. But I can see maybe in theory he falls a little bit further, but he will definitely be a first-round pick. Definitely. So we're through 7 there. A couple big names still on the board, so let's just run it a few more times. There we go. I ran a mock draft the other day, and I saw him go 12 to the Cowboys. He is still on the board at 12. Jeffries fell to 10. Stewart at 8. This is a pretty smart draft so far. Tyler Warren at 13, still available. Jalen Walker, Colston Loveland, Derek Harmon. A lot of names on the draft board still at this point. So let's continue on. Let's continue on here. Resume draft. So we pause now. Sanders went 18 to the Seahawks. He fell really far. Here's where Starks is going to go, right in this 17 to 20 range. Who is the guy I actually really want? So we're at 20 now. Loveland's still on the board. Derek Harmon's still on the board. There's a lot of names on the board there. Still 12 picks away. Here's the thing. What's the odds that we're going to sit here on draft night? And we will be live on draft night, okay? Got confirmation that Jason Sullivan, Michigan State graduate, will be joining us for a majority of the first round as well. I'll be live from about 7:45 on draft night. Through when? I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to do this, all right? We're going to do this live. But what were the odds we're going to be sitting here live and it's just going to be ticking along, pick after pick after pick, and then it's going to turn out to be how he trades out. I'm going to be so pissed off at that. Amazes me how much people want to will a quarterback this year. It does. And it happens every year, Noobs. We're always trying to will the quarterback. I mean, Jackson Dart, people are talking about now. Milroe, Alabama quarterback. He's a second or third round quarterback at best. Dart's a second rounder. Sanders a second, third rounder. Cam Ward shouldn't be a top 15 pick, but he is. It's a quarterback-driven league. And teams make mistakes and fail their organizations by reaching. You know what? You don't have a quarterback, that's fine. Go get the best left tackle in the draft. Go get the best defensive tackle in the draft. And piecework the quarterback position for another year till next year when there's better prospects. Well, we're trying to move on from Rob Thomson. We're trying to move on to the mock draft here. We're still going 2 or 3 picks at a time. All right, I went a few more picks. Loveland went to the Cardinals. Harmon went to the Steelers. You still got a great safety out there. You still got Walter Nolan out there. Josh Simmons, that's a good pick for the Chargers there. Get another lineman there to protect that overrated quarterback. This draft is falling very realistically to what can be available when the Philadelphia Eagles pick. Milroe could eventually be a quality starter, but who knows? Yeah, who knows? At least Milroe will probably go late enough in the first or second round where he will not be forced to start immediately. Because that's the biggest issue, when these guys get forced to start because they're first-round picks right away. Sanders and Ward are going to be asked to start probably right away, and that is going to be part of the issue. Well, maybe if he goes to Seattle. Who did Seattle just pick up? Sam Darnold, so he can sit for a year behind Sam Darnold. There's a world where Loveland can fall if there are 3 mistakes made in the right slots. Look, none of us expected Quinion Mitchell to fall last year. So teams do reach. Teams do fall in love with players. You know, we got to remember, this is a computer model, okay? Not this computer model that these websites run do not take into account emotions, okay? They don't take into account teams that fall in love with a player. They don't take into account GMs making mistakes. They don't take that into account. They're just going off of stats and algorithms and stuff like that on teams' supposed needs and what these players, they're not taking into account top 30 visits, these algorithms. I mean, it's doubtful, but again, nobody had Quinion Mitchell. People had us drafting Cooper DeJean with the first pick last year because we needed a cornerback, and Arnold and Quinion Mitchell weren't going to be there for us. Both were. Tyron Arnold, however you say his name. So when you're doing these mock drafts, you really got to think about that. All right, so we're going to run a few more picks. All right, here we are. Let's see what happens since the Chargers pick. You got a couple more names. So you still got Campbell, the linebacker from Bama. You still got Walter Nolan at 29. You got James Pierce still there. James Pierce, I bet you, goes to the Commanders at 29 here. Dart still available. Tyleik Williams, sorry. There's 3 picks before the Eagles pick, and there's 3 names. Nolan, I don't even know how to say his name. Egbuka. Well, he's a wide receiver. That's not. Nolan, Pierce, they're the names I would want right there. Williams could be a trade back. What are the odds that an Egbuka, a wide receiver, a first-round wide receiver, falls and how he takes a wide receiver? That'd be pretty comical. That would be very, very, very comical. All right, so let's run this and see what happens here. The Eagles are on the board. Before we look at the trade option, Walter Nolan and James Pierce are on the board at 32. 2 picks I would both absolutely love the Eagles to take. You get your Milton Williams replacement, or you get a starter on the outside. Now, I know we have a little bit of bad luck with Tennessee defensive ends, edge rushers. But both those names are on the board. And before you start predicting who you guys want me to take here, because I'm going to listen to you guys. Now, Nooms is there. K1's there. Unfortunately, Duck's not in the chat just yet. Loveland did very well to crack the starting Michigan lineup his freshman year, but I don't see a huge improvement afterward. I would be utterly shocked if the Eagles draft a tight end before round 3. Okay? Real quick, let's take a look at these proposed. We could trade 32 and pick up 3 picks, 63, 66, and 95. I'm staying with the pick on that one, personally. We'll see what you guys think. The Lions projection, 32 and next year's 7th rounder for 61 and 2 and a future second. That's not much offered there. So at this point with these 2 offers on the board, there's a lot of value in 63, 66, and 95. But again, I do like Walter Nolan and James Pierce. Personally, I'm taking James Pierce here with a very close second, Walter Nolan, in this situation. But we're going to give it a few moments. Yeah, Pierce is a stud for that. We're going to let it marinate for a minute here. We're going to think about, what does Howie Roseman do? Howie Roseman loves the defensive line. Howie loves the offensive line as well. I want to just circle down here. Any other names? There's other edges available. Kenneth Grant's still on the board. Donovan Jackson could start at guard. Josh Connerly. So there's options to trade back. The problem is these 2 trades are trading majorly back. And to me, when you've already got pick, 64, do you really want 63, 64, and 66? That wouldn't make sense. Would you want 60 and 64 to go within 93 or 94 and 102? I mean, picking up a second next year, we don't need. This is the thing. It's very hard to trade up on this site. If I'm the Eagles and I was sitting here and as this board played out, I would have considered trading up at this point to get Josh Simmons, to get Derek Harmon, to get Colston Loveland, to get Malachi Starks. In this scenario, how it played out, I would have probably been trading up. That's what I would have probably been doing. I'm split on both. In this scenario, I'm split on the top 2 names on the board. That's me. If we have our impact players on both sides set, you would think quantity is the way to go this year. Quantity is to an extent. So I guess, Nooms, you're asking for that Kansas City trade to pick up 3 extra top 100 picks. I guess in theory is what you're saying. Now, if they were going to, if that first pick, trading from 32 all the way down to like 60, is just an extreme thing, in my opinion. He is not a bad option either. There's quite a few good options. If someone was offering me to trade back to 36, 38, even 40, 42 here, I would consider it. Because 10 spots, there's still a lot of great options on the board. The other problem here is when you're thinking about what Howie will do. Very rarely is Howie a passive draft guy. Yes, he traded out in 2018 out of the 32 spot. But more often than not, he trades up than trades back. You got to think about what Howie does. Howie's got guys that he really likes. Howie also drafts guys on his top 30 visits. James Pierce has had a top 30 visit here, right? I don't know if Walter Nolan has. Double checking my notes. I do not think Walter Nolan has come in here. He has not. I'm almost positive James Pierce has. I really should put all these top 30 visits on one page. But I got them on like 3 or 4 pages. It's tough to see. Well, that is why I didn't say his name already, because it is one of the names I haven't worked on yet. Howie can let it all come to him this year. He is in that position. He is. But Howie's also in a position with a lot of draft picks over a 2-year span to be aggressive to get his guy. There's only a few locked first-round picks that he has brought in for top 30 visits. Starks being one of them. Howie is going to be more aggressive than I think people realize. In 2018, he thought they were all luxury picks. Philosophy changed. Yeah, Howie has changed, philosophically speaking, since 2018. In 2018, he was still coming out of the equipment closet. He was still recovering from that ego stomp that Chip Kelly put on him. He was still learning on how to fix his previous mistakes. I think at this point we know what Howie Roseman is and where Howie Roseman's going to be. In my opinion, in this scenario, these two trades. You guys, if you want to tell me to propose a counter trade or trade with somebody else down here in the 34, 38, 40. You want me to make a trade proposal to 40 or 39? I could do that. I don't have to take these trade offers. You guys can tell me what to do. You want me to try to trade back 5 or 6 spots? I could do that. I could try to propose. Let's see. We could try a proposed trade with the Bears at 39. We could try something like this, 32 for 39. And what else? 39 and 72 for 32? Is that something you want me to try? If I propose this and it gets accepted, then I can't back out. Do you want me to try something like this? I don't know if the Bears are the right team. We could say the Saints at 40. The Saints at 40 for 32 and take 71. 40 and 71 for 32. The Saints need a quarterback. There's a lot of options here on the board. It doesn't just have to be what's proposed by PFN. Ed. Now, the thing is, these PFN sites don't allow us to trade players, which I think this is an excellent spot if you're going to trade back to include I was watching Anthony DeBona, or reading Anthony DeBona's article yesterday from Philadelphia Sports Network, and he proposed a trade with Dallas Goedert to the Giants, getting us Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, there's a scenario I get behind. It's more realistic. It's more Howie's MO to go out and draft or trade for a younger player versus this. Is 40 and 71 for 32 a worthy thing? I kind of like that. We could put that back up. 40 would be what, 8 picks? So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you would have guys like Xavier Watts still on the board, Josh Connerly, Donovan Jackson, Mason Taylor, Landon Jackson, Trey Amos, who I see a lot of people. These are all names that could be taken in that scenario if it was even accepted. That's the other thing, if it's accepted. So what do we do here? I mean, the algo ain't really working today, so I can do what I want. K1 says to take James Pierce, either or. Nooms wants me to trade back. I don't like these two options. So let me try something here. Let's try this Saints trade here. Let's see if they would accept 40 and 71 for 32. Let's see if they would accept that. Proposed trade. They do not accept that. So that's too much. Let's see here. Let's try something else with them. Let's say 32 and a future 7 for 40 and 71. Proposed trade. No. So that ain't even going to work. So that idea, They said, no, thank you. What was the Chicago one? It was 40. Yeah, no, that's not going to work either. The days of judging Howie by past tendencies should be out the window. Absolutely agree. Absolutely. I mean, you guys have been begging for mock drafts. I give you what you want, and no one shows up. If I was talking about Rob Thomson, it would be blowing up. But you guys want mock drafts. I give you what you want, K1. It's time to nut up or shut up. Trending Nation, Core 12 Nation. That's what it is. Let me look at these. So 2 seconds and a third, a second, a fourth, and a second. I'm kind of shocked that these trade proposals I put out there haven't been accepted. Let's try 41. Let's try the Bears pick 41. 41 and 72 for 32. Let's see if the Bears accept that. No. So I don't know. I don't know. K1 wants more Sixers talk? Okay. All right. K1 wants me to talk Daryl Morey some more? Then that's what we'll do. I don't think that is. Nut Up or Shut Up would make a great T-shirt. I mean, I'm pretty sure that T-shirt exists already. All right? I'm almost positive that shirt exists. Since it's only K1 and Nooms really projecting here, we're gonna go with James Pierce here at number 30. We're gonna pass on the trades. We're gonna get the defensive end, the edge rusher, the pass rusher, the Eagles need, and we're gonna see what happens here. We're gonna let it play out to 64 now and see what happens. All right, that's 64. We got one trade proposal to trade back to 68 and pick up a late pick at 196 from the Lions. We got a linebacker. We got a bunch of names. We got Oladejo, edge on there. We got TJ Sanders. I do like TJ Sanders from South Carolina. High ROAS score. A guy they have brought in for a top 30 visit. You do have Darius Alexander. You do have Emory Jones, names I've heard and names they've brought in. You still got Harold Fanning from Bowling Green. I think he'll be available later. This is where we sit now. I think I need to go out to the Winn-Dixie. Yeah, where's Deebs on a day like today? When I'm trying to run a mock draft. It's Friday. It's Good Friday. It's Easter weekend. Kind of had a feeling. That's why I threw even WrestleMania into the conversation for today. Because Princely, he went, 61 to Washington. What's Washington's draft through 2 rounds look like? And Washington basically did the opposite of what I'm going to do here. We went edge first. I'm going to take a defensive tackle now. They went D tackle. Basically, Washington in this draft is mimicking what the Eagles typically do. Although trading back 4 spots would probably still put TJ Sanders on the board or Darius Alexander. So in theory, I could accept this trade and pick up an extra draft pick later. Phil's name and he will appear. I'm here. I promise you guys I'll be live for the entire draft. Cody Rhodes wins against Cena. I will give you my prediction. Well, about 15, 20 minutes. I will go through the entire WrestleMania card and why it stinks and why I'll watch it, but I could care less. Could care less. Well, let me tell you something. Cody shouldn't win, but neither should Cena. All right, so here at 64, do we stay pat and take TJ Sanders, or do we risk trading back and picking up an extra pick and still get maybe Sanders? Fannon's there. I already showed that. He's down. He's right there, projected number 72. I know people like him. I know we signed his head coach from college. I believe he's our quarterback coach, the Bowling Green head coach. I'm not sure if I would be drafting a tight end, especially him, that early. I think tight end's a 3rd-round decision for the Eagles. I think tight end's a 3rd-round decision. That would be my opinion. What happens if we accept this? I could take Fannin at 68. Let's accept this. All right, now we fall back to 168. or to 68. No, thank you. And we made that deal with the Lions, and they took Oladejo. Emory Jones went. Lott went. Irsay went. Now at 68, we still got TJ Sanders on the board. And Darius Alexander. And Harold Fant. Showboats versus Panthers primetime game. Won't be watching it, tell you that much. If you keep Dallas Goedert tight end is the third round. They're not. I would be shocked if they keep Dallas Goedert. I love Anthony DeBono's trade proposal where it's Dallas Goedert and a third for Kayvon Thibodeau and a fourth, basically. You get your defensive end. You get your young edge rusher. You get off of Dallas Goedert. You only trade a third for a fourth, basically. I like that deal. And then that frees you up to do other decisions in that first round. How do we keep Goddard? He won't play without a new deal. Not only will he not play without a new deal, K1, but also we won't let him play without a new deal because his current deal kills him. Or kills us on the salary cap. Yeah, the algo's not working today, Adam. Nobody's tuning in here. I'll reshare it out on Twitter one more time. Try to boost that algo a little bit more. We're getting killed on the algo today. Nobody wants to talk the draft like everybody wanted to talk the draft until I start talking the draft, and then nobody wants to talk the draft. You got 11 likes on the video. That's not too bad. So close, though. So close to 500. So, yeah, Dallas Goedert has to get extended or traded because I think he counts like $12, $13, $14 million against the cap if he stays. They're not doing that. Not doing that. I'm taking TJ Sanders here at pick number 68, not taking Fannin. We don't have to go tight end. They got Grant Calcaterra. They brought in two young pieces, or not young pieces, depth pieces. You can go in the fourth round at tight end. We can't extend a tight end who is always hurt. You can't. You can't help the club from the tub, K1. All right, so now we're at 96, pick 123. We can trade back to 111. Now let's see what's on the board. Now here you go. You pass on, who did you want? The Fannin kid. You got Elijah Arroyo from Miami, 6'5", 250 guy. Can do a little bit of everything. Can be your tight end. I have no problem with taking a tight end in this spot. I do like Kyle Kennard. Read a bunch about him. Do like Dylan Fairchild. Charles Grant is on the board at 101. Oh, I love Charles Grant. Can step in and play guard right away, probably. I do like him. Now I've backed myself into a hole with a couple names that I really like on this board. Jalen Reed is still on the board. He's not going to go 120. He won't be there at 134. So I could trade back to 123, trade back to 111. Man, these are the names I'd be choosing between. Okay? Jalen Reed. I know it's early for him, but I would consider Jalen Reed at safety, Charles Grant, Kyle Kennard, and Elijah Arroyo. They would be the names I'd be looking at in this spot. That's the only world where we go that low on the tight end, third round. Phil gave up UFL for yeah, that's what I gave up already. I gave it up for the entire year. I saw a trade rumor for that's not happening, Adam. That is what's wrong with the world. People believing those kind of trades. What is up, Bruce Bright? Harper, how are you? K1 really wants a tight end. Is it Arroyo? I'm thinking of Bronson Arroyo, former Reds pitcher. That's why I'm pronouncing it Arroyo. So, yeah. I don't care who we draft. What's up, Davey? Howie has been killing it these days. Like, absolutely. I have all the trust in what Howie does. I do. It's the first person that we've had two names or two people pick. So maybe we do go with the tight end here. It's going to really piss me off because that means we're not going to get Charles Grant, and it means we're not going to get Jalen Reed. But if you all want the tight end, we've got an edge. We've got a defensive tackle that I really like so far. If you guys want Arroyo here, I will accept Arroyo in this spot. If you don't keep Dallas Goedert, you have to go higher for a tight end. I just don't see Howie doing it. I mean, I didn't see Howie getting, Quinion Mitchell. And this is the thing. I doubt Arroyo drops this low as well. I think certain guys that are available are going to go sooner, and certain guys that aren't available will be on the board. I think Fannin could be available at this point. Nobody wants Dallas Goedert. I think a few teams do want Dallas Goedert. I think Howie Roseman's playing hardball at this point, personally. All right. Y'all want a tight end really bad, so we'll go Elijah Arroyo right there. We'll keep rolling this to 134 here. We still got picks 134. We still got a lot of later picks here available. And unfortunately, one guy I really want, where'd he end up going? Jalen Reed went way up here. Where the hell did I miss his name? Jalen Reed went 99. Jalen Reed is jumping up draft boards. We need a safety. We do. And he is going to keep jumping up draft boards like there's no tomorrow. There's other names that I like that are jumping up draft boards a lot right now. Let me see where they fell on this one here. Stuntman, really solid linebacker, jumping up the board. CJ West, jumping up boards. RJ Mickens, jumping up boards. Dylan Fairchild, jumping up boards. Where's the one I was looking for one name specifically. Maybe he is still on the board somewhere here. Sometimes it takes me a second to remember these names, or I need to see them on the board to remember them. Offense. Guard? Or is he listed as a tackle? Listed as center. Oh, there he is. He's listed at 164. Jonah Monheim is a name that I could see the Eagles drafting at lineman, because he could play literally guard, tackle, and center. So he's a perfect depth piece that could be had. Yeah, Goddard will be a day 3 trade, in my opinion, for sure. Dave Dombrowski and Rubin would extend him without any question asked. That is true. That is true. Yeah, you love watching my brain work in real time. I know. It's a special thing. It's really special watching my brain work. It really, truly is. Absolutely is, a special thing to watch my brain. I mean, I feel pretty special and lucky to have a brain like I do. Just so you know. All right, so what are we doing here? At 134, no trade proposals on the board. Top players are running backs and wide receivers. You got another edge. Anthony Belton was brought in for a top 30 visit. Big tackle. Can he play guard? When the word with refinement, that's like perfect. Has upside at tackle or guard. So he could be your starting right guard pretty quickly. Fadil Diggs, I don't even know who that is. See, you got another tight end there. Where are we going here? Are we going to go with the tackle, the lineman? We haven't addressed that line yet. What's up, Jason? How you doing? There are certain GMs you don't worry about at the draft. Howie, Brad Holmes. That's it. That's the list. I'm assuming Brad Holmes is the Detroit Lions GM. And I can't wait to do a live draft show with you so we can bicker about these things. If I knew you were off, you could have been doing this mock draft with me. I see smoke over your head in real time. Yeah. Sorry. Phil the Brain Heenan. Yeah. One of the greatest managers of all time. It is WrestleMania weekend. So great reference to Bobby the Brain right there. 2 more. We're still sitting 2 away. Duck, we've been waiting for you all day for this mock draft. I know you love your mock drafts. I know you do. John Lynch was on the list, but I think it might have set in for him. Great drafter. I'm not off. So hold on. Before you leave, let's just see. At this point, this is what the Lions mock draft that the computer put. They drafted a cornerback in the first round. Obviously, I love Aladejo at 64 for you guys. You guys got another wide receiver. And you drafted a quarterback, too, Louisville quarterback. This is where the Lions mock draft is at this point. Good, bad, in between. Cut over to see what you already drafted. All right, I will cut over for you, Duck, where we are at. My picks, we got James Pierce at 32. TJ Sanders, we traded back a little bit, just a couple spots there, and Elijah Arroyo. I'm doing this for the people. This is a for the people draft. I think the draft I ran before the show, the people before the show draft that I did, where we got Starks at 30, pretty special. Pretty accurate. Rather have defensive end in the first round. Yeah, I think you guys need a defensive end as well. And that's probably where James Pierce goes to you guys, not the cornerback. So we probably don't get James Pierce at 32 because I don't think James Pierce lasts at 32, but that would be that. There is one top offensive lineman that I've already pointed out, Anthony Belton, offense. Problem is you got to separate it out by guards and tackles. You can't just do the entire offensive line. They're your top tackles at pick 134. They're your top guards, which I think you can wait one more stretch here. And there's your top centers, Seth McLaughlin, Josh Moynihan. But they're your offensive linemen that are available at this point. I mean, I talked Phillies to start the show. I got pushed off the Phillies, Marshawn, to do this mock draft. And as soon as I switched to the mock draft, everybody bolts. We're going to move on to WrestleMania talk here in a little bit here. We're about 10 minutes away from me rolling. Duck, you finally got here, so I'm going to go with what Duck wants. Duck wants, Duck gets the offensive tackle, North Carolina State. Plus, he was a top 30 visit. Now we're sitting at 161. Elijah Roberts has fallen so far down the projection. We could go there. We're not taking a quarterback. Monheim. I just like Monheim because he could play so many positions. So many positions. We are about to get into WrestleMania talk in just a little bit. Duck speaks, and I answer. I give him what he wants because I'm a man of the people. I am a man of the people, K1. Mekhi Becton. Who's Mekhi Becton? Or Belton? Mekhi Belton? What? Did I say Mekhi Belton? Did I? I don't know what I'm going to do here. Because he could be there with the next pick, too, possibly. I also do like Jack Kaiser, linebacker Notre Dame, as an option. I do. Although I might go with Kobe King later in the draft at linebacker. We'll see. Go with my gut. Well, my gut's telling me that I had a big breakfast. I'm a little full this morning. WrestleMania feels flat this year, for real. It absolutely does. Absolutely does. I mean, I'll put it on Saturday night because I'll get home from work. We're not doing anything on Easter. Fine. I'll put it on Sunday night because why not? I'm off on Sunday. But honestly, I could care less. I do because I like guys that are flexible. We need offensive line depth. He's a guy that's got experience playing tackle, guard, and center in college. So we play all positions. Phil is lactose intolerant. His gut doesn't even trust him. I probably am, but I refuse to cut out certain things because I love my eggs, my milk, my cream, my cheese. I love all things dairy. So I just accept it. And, I deal with it. You guys have fun. I hope you guys are having fun with my gut digestive issues. Hey, I'm not the one that has to pause mid-show to go run to the bathroom like somebody else. That I won't name names, and a few of you remember that. I'm not that guy, okay? We are going to go with my gut. We're going to take Jonah Moynihan here, and we're going to see what happens at 164. Still pretty much the same names on the board. Elijah Roberts, man. There was a point in time where Elijah Roberts was projected to be like a first, second, or third round pick. Really was. I want to see where's Kobe King. Check. I hit the cord again. Kobe King, I could get him with my last pick. Okay. So we don't have to waste that on Kobe King. No, I know. There's just a lot of things that upset my stomach, but I continue to eat them because I love them. That triple threat match between Roman Punk Rollins is not going to match the promos. It's just pointless. It's just pointless. Now, if they would have put it like one of those things like where Daniel Bryan had to wrestle Randy Orton, Batista, get entered into the main event, sure. If you want to put, even if it's not the Cena Cody match, if you wanted to have that match kick off night one, and then the winner of that gets added to Gunther and Jey Uso, sure. Put something else other than triple rivalries. Heated rivalries are not for triple threats. Those three all hate each other. There should not be a triple threat there between those three. It should be one-on-one or with some stipulation on the line. And that's what I don't get. Grab Roberts and Kaiser. Well, Roberts just went off the board at 162, so I can't grab him. You want Kaiser? I'll give you Jack Kaiser. And then we've got to continue on. Who's Sebastian Castro? Terrible ROS score. His man-to-man technique's not good. Not a fan there. Another defensive end. They actually brought this guy, Pal Ryland, in for a visit. Huge RA score, a little short. Let's go with another defensive end at that pick. And here we are at 168. This is the problem. There's no way Howie Roseman is drafting 61, 64, 65, and 68. He's just not doing it. It's not happening. Zero chance. So Jared Ivey, I've heard him talked about a little bit. I think he was brought in for a visit as well. We've already got a bunch of those end rushers there. Shots fired across the pond. I didn't say anything. I didn't name names. Not naming names. I know. It's stupid. You spent a whole year teasing that, and it just happened. Kaiser. Soze? What? Is that a name? I don't even know what you're saying there. Don't know what you're saying there. Not a fan of Castro. Kami Cuban. What? How we should trade for Michkowski. What? Jack Nelson. Double up on the O-line. What? Kaiser Soze. I have seen it. I didn't know that's what your reference is there at that point. Didn't know what your reference is for a second there. I've seen the usual suspects, obviously, many of times. I'm trying to run a mock draft. I'm trying to think about WrestleMania. I'm trying to read the comments. What are you, Stone Cold Steve Austin? Just saying what 100 times in the chat? What? 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 That's really going to help the algorithm right there a lot. Really going to help the algorithm a lot there. I don't know what I do here at 168. Not sure. What have I taken so far? Edge twice. D-tackle once. I've got 2 offensive linemen and a tight end. Safety and cornerback are a glaring need here. Let's see. Safeties that are left. Cornerback. Both could be available at the later pick. Linebacker, edge, defensive tackle, best available. Maybe we go with a small defensive tackle here at 168. How about that? How about we go small defensive tackle there? Guys, this mock draft is nowhere near as good as the mock draft I ran before the show, just so you know. Raw but athletic. Well, that's what you get at this point. Raw but athletic type players, for sure. I'm glad I grabbed the linebacker because the linebacker I would have taken here is gone at this point. Where did he go? Where did Joby go? He's still on the board. He's not on the board. I don't even see where his name went off the board. Huh. Missing that one. Anyway. At this point, it don't even matter. WrestleMania sucks this year for real. What are we really going to get from Cena versus Rhodes? Maybe Roman helps Cody in spite of the final boss. That seems lazy. It does seem lazy. Hey, I am letting this play out. This mock draft is exactly why mock drafts are almost stupid. Because you know what mock drafts are better? Now, talking 215, I love those guys, Jake and crew over there. Scoot. Put on a shirt, Scoot. They at least are doing a mock draft where they have a different person running each team's draft versus a computer. A little bit more human element into it versus a computer algorithm that's not really taking anything into account. That's the way to run a mock draft. I don't have time to find 31 other people to run a mock draft with and then do that. That's just not in my nature. Mock drafts, as the Ed Kratz article talked about. Stop listening to the computers and to these just random people. Mock drafts are, to most, what Sixers talk is to K1. Yeah, they're really just silly content creating things. There we go. We'll just take, who are we taking here with our last pick, 196? A lot of defensive tackles on the board. Harold Cross and Notre Damer. Is Jaden Blue still available? I doubt it, but I know a lot of people like, nope, Jaden Blue is not available anymore here. So that's not the pick. Holland Pierce from Rutgers. Jay Higgins. Jaden Blue is available. There he is. So we'll take the running back that everybody wants to the Eagles. All right, there we go. I had so much faith in Paul Levesque. Maybe there's a big surprise, but low expectations. The problem is this would be a perfect year for, and we'll shrink this up a little bit. We'll put the mock draft off to the side. This would be the year, since it's going to be a step back, for them to try to build new stars. Put a new star in a big spot. Instead, we're getting Cena Orton or Cena Rhodes, which we don't need. We are going to do that. We're just going to shit on WrestleMania. He has fallen down the board far. This WrestleMania, I mean, you look at the card. It's lackluster. It's not as exciting. You could have done something. Like, what do we benefit from half of from the main matches on this card? What do we benefit from Cena or Rock or Cena Rhodes? Nothing. If Cena wins, Rhodes is a busted champion. If Rhodes wins, what was the point of Cena? I think you're gonna get more shenanigans in the big matches than any matches before. I know last year's main event between Reigns and Cody had a lot of shenanigans, but I think like every match, it's gonna feel like Vince Russo booked WrestleMania, because there's gonna be so much shenanigans. I'm looking at the card right now. Shenanigans in Reigns, Rollins, Punk. Shenanigans in Gunther, Uso. Shenanigans in Knight, Fatu. Shenanigans in Rhodes, Cena. Shenanigans in what does AJ Styles versus Logan Paul do? Styles needs to win. He's got only a few years left. You need Logan Paul to be a bigger player, but he doesn't commit. It does. It does right now. I don't know why. I've been scanning the news and I can't find any on Pierce and why he fell. Yeah. Jey Uso, he sucks. I can't stand Jey. I want Gunther to squash Jey Uso. It's not going to happen. Jey Uso is going to win. Jey Uso is going to be the new champion. Jey Uso is a transitional champion. Jey Uso will lose the championship within 4 or 5 weeks. Jey Uso sucks. I don't buy the hype as him as your top champion. Don't buy it. Cena and Rock joining forces was a great moment, but it's not enough. Cena and Rock joining forces, literally to me, was dumb. Now, Cena, some of his heel comments and the way he's handled it, and some of his promos since turning heel, great. But him and The Rock together makes no sense to me. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. Cena didn't need somebody else to help him. He didn't have to sell it. He could have done it on his own. I don't know. Styles is an international star. Logan Paul, is he gonna put over Logan Paul? Probably. I will say the pulverizer is a pretty badass finisher. I actually am a huge Logan Paul fan. I wish Logan Paul should be wrestling Gunther for the championship or Jey Uso for the championship and be the champion if he could commit to being on every Raw or SmackDown. Moving Raw to Netflix ruined WWE for me. I used to flip channels on Monday night. Yeah, exactly. I don't. You can't flip from the Phillies game to Netflix that easily on a basic smart TV. So no, don't like it. Don't like it at all. Marshawn is single-handedly derailing Phil's mock draft. No, the mock draft's over. Finn Balor, to me, his time's passed. I think here's one of my bold predictions for WrestleMania. Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. Your champion, Braun Breaker. Where my dogs at? Versus Penta. Versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio pins Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. That's my bold prediction. And Braun Breaker loses the title, gets to move on to take the title off of Jey Uso very quickly. That's my prediction there. But he loses his title without getting pinned. That's how it's going to be. Also, The Rock should just be heel and not flip-flop. The Rock, to me, either just needs to go away or be there more often. That's the problem. Finn Balor is the mid-card while Jey Uso is wrestling for gold. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Finn Balor needs to leave the Judgment Day, needs to lose this match, needs to go away for 4 to 6 months, come back the old Finn Balor with the music and whatnot. Finn Balor just needs to go away. The Judgment Day is pretty much over, in my opinion. The Rock and Cena joining forces at this point in their careers is sad. It's just weird. There isn't enough good up-and-coming entertaining talent. They need to bring old guys back for views. It is. And since this WrestleMania is going to be so weak, they could have very easily used this. Used this to build something. Just think of this card this year. There's no Sami Zayn on this card. Jimmy Uso, not on the card. Solo Sikoa, not on this card. There's so much not on this card. It's bad. You don't have either second. Chelsea Green not on this card. How do you not have Chelsea Green, the best women's wrestler there? I love Chelsea Green. You don't have her defending the title. The women's U.S. and Intercontinental titles not being defended. Pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic, in my opinion. No Nakamura. There's so many names not on this card. Also, The Rock dresses like Elvis. Can't take him serious yet. No. The final boss character, I said it on this show last year. The last show of my tenure at PSN was my WrestleMania prediction card last year, and I said on that show, The Rock is overrated. Go away. They're bringing back old heads for nostalgia. And yeah, look, the old heads do bring in money. Yes, the Bloodline storyline is so over, so done. So done, in my opinion. So what happens with Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk? That storyline has so much in it, but yet nothing on the line. Something needs to be on the line there. And that's the problem. That is the problem for me. Roman Reigns needs to go away for a little while as well, even though he doesn't even wrestle all the time. I'd be more interested if Undertaker was rumored to show up. That bell for his entrance music is the best. I'll just tell you, the first time I ever saw The Undertaker wrestle live, it was a SmackDown. We're talking like late 90s. I got goosebumps when his music hit. Goosebumps. Oh, 1,000%, Marshawn. 1,000%. Triple threat match for Paul Heyman's loyalty. Yeah, basically that's what's on. Is Vince Russo? Are we having a Paul Heyman on a pole match here? Is that what we're having? He is so overrated. So overrated. So overrated. All right, so let me run down this card. Let me predict this card. Night 1, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. They've ruined Jade Cargill's overrated, but they've ruined it. Naomi should win because she's got a bigger future than Cargill. Cargill will win that. Match number 2, Rey Mysterio versus, from the Gulf of America, El Grande Americano. I'm just saying. Shush. He better win. El Grande Americano. He better win. Should have won the IC title. You missed out on Chad Gable's peak. Chad Gable's got himself over again with his new Alpha Academy or whatever American made. He should win. He needs to win. Beating Rey Mysterio would be huge here. Next match, night 1. LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Jacob Fatu. LA Knight. They missed the boat on LA Knight. Fatu needs to win this, but he's not. LA Knight's going to win because Solo Sikoa is going to interfere in this match and spike Fatu. That's my opinion there. We've got the War Raiders versus the New Day. But the other tag team titles, which are cooking, the Street Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, is not on the Mania card. How, I don't know. But you got this War Raiders versus New Day. The War Raiders are going to win because somebody's going to interfere, maybe Big E, and help the New Day lose that match. You got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Moonsault versus Moonsault. Stratton's going to win that, just so you know. You got Gunther versus Jey Uso. Jey Uso's going to win. And that's actually the first match of WrestleMania. That is kicking off night one, which is ridiculous that your champion is kicking off the show and not main eventing. It should be Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Punk kicking it off, with the winner being inserted into Gunther, Jey Uso. Jey Uso's going to win, but it's kind of stupid. It should be Gunther because Jey Uso is not a main eventer. I love Paul Heyman, but not at the price of a triple threat match of the three biggest wrestlers. Yeah, exactly. Rey Mysterio is on the card, fighting El Grande Americano, basically the masked version of what's his name? Shorty G. Wrestling just plain sucks anymore. It does, honestly. What the fuck? Did you hear this? It's night one of WrestleMania. About two first night. What are we really doing? Exactly. I actually love Jacob Fatu. I think he's great in ring. He's got personality and stuff. He could be a star. Upper mid-card star. They missed the boat on LA Knight. Like the New Day. Like, I love their heel turn. I do. But they're not doing anything with it. It is Tiffy time. Smoke show. Smoke show. I mean, I would love to be Ludwig Kaiser for a night. Just so you know. Ricky Fowler, 3 under through 6. Really? We're worried about golf at this point? I mean, yeah. I love Fatu, but he's stuck in the Bloodline storyline. Yeah, exactly. I am going to predict Seth Rollins wins the main event at night one. Not Reigns, not Punk. Seth Rollins deserves a big win in the moment. All three of these guys don't need the win. All three of these guys need the win. It's kind of weird to say that. I know it sounds weird, but if you know, you know. I would love the rumor that's not going to happen, which is Brock Lesnar comes back with Paul Heyman and just F5s all of them. But they would never bring Brock Lesnar back, not in this day and age, with this world. So night one is going to be terrible and useless. Night two of the WrestleMania card. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Want AJ Styles to win. I want Logan Paul to win. I think Logan Paul gets the win and gets put over. Night two, second match. Stupid match. A Sin City street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre better win that match. Priest is not a main event player like they present him. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman working together seems redundant. It does. Seems stupid. Golf got you 6 subs on Sunday. Man, I remind you, it did. It did. How many am I going to gain during my live mock draft on Thursday night? Or live real draft? Enough with Brock Lesnar. I know. I don't even like Brock Lesnar. But that was the only thing that would excite that. Priest does not say main event here to me. Drew McIntyre better win that match. They need to push Drew McIntyre to the moon. I've already given you my prediction. Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal 4-way. I think Dominic Mysterio finally gets his first singles title and wins that match. Actually, no, he was the secondary title down in NXT once for a little while. I don't even remember what it's called. You got a women's tag team match, Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez, the champions, versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie. Stupid match, but Liv and Raquel will win that. You got the triple threat. You got your champion, Io Sky. Love Io Sky. Versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Belair will win. I would love to see Io Sky win. Io Sky is an extremely underrated wrestler. Io Sky wrestled, I think it was Kenny Omega in New Japan once and put on a hell of a match. Io Sky is extremely underrated. No, it was in Lucha Underground. She did like a hardcore. She got destroyed in a match. She's fantastic. But it'll be Bianca Belair. And it'll set up a Belair versus Naomi versus Jade Cargill match at some point. And then, of course, you got the main event of WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes, your champion, versus John Cena. I think John Cena wins. I do. But I don't think any fan wins with that main event. No matter which way that event goes, nobody wins. There's nothing good that's going to come out of the main event. I might turn it off by the main event. I mean, honestly, by that time, I'm normally in bed anyway. They're really buried. McIntyre's so been buried. It sucks. You put him in either main event, and it would be more entertaining. So when is Sixers talk? I don't know. When are they going to fire Daryl Morey, Big Al? When's the draft lottery get released? Like May 10th? May 12th? We'll really build up then. Also, why the F is Liv a tag champion? Reminds me of HBK and Diesel. Yeah, well, Liv, you got Liv is just like Io Sky. Liv is extremely underrated. She is actually probably one of the best female wrestlers on the roster, package wise, like whole package skills, mic skills, wrestling skills, appearance, presentation. She's amazing. No, I mean, I get it. Building up CM Punk. CM Punk will be champion at some point soon. I'd rather talk Wooder Dogs than WrestleMania. Look, I'm done. That's it. I gave you my card. I gave you my predictions. Oh, I predict Cena wins. Yeah, that's it. Look, it's Friday. It's Easter. If you haven't already, you hit that like button. You hit that share button. You hit that subscribe button. I'm assuming we've gained no new subscribers. I'm assuming the likes are low on this show. Yeah, we haven't gained no subscribers. We've up to 14 likes. It's not the worst for the day. But yeah. No, we don't. We don't. Yeah, I haven't even heard Mitchie Poo say it yet today. I've only done it a few times. YMCA. Come on. Final 8 minutes of the show. Ask me anything Sixers related. Ask me anything Phillies related. Ask me anything draft related. WrestleMania related. Easter related. Ask me anything. Bruce, happy Easter to you as well. Easter's going to be a day off, our first day off, my wife and I, together in like a month. So we are literally going to sit on the couch, eat food, drink beer, and watch TV all day long. That's it. Sixers, Phillies suck. They do. We only have the Eagles. We do. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see how next week goes. Who gets fired first? Topper, because that season's still going on. I know that Daryl Morey said that he and Nurse will be back, but until Josh Harris says it as well, maybe there's a chance. Yeah, I was ragging on my guys. Ref the district because they were hyping up how great Josh Harris is and telling him, just wait. Once he gets his new stadium locked in, he's going to suck again. Phil, do you feel Bryce Harper? Well, he'll be right around 28, 32, somewhere in that range. So probably. I think how he trades. I already projected that. I talked about that earlier in the show, Marshawn, maybe before you were in the chat. That was in Anthony DeBona's article for PSN yesterday. That the Eagles traded a third and a fifth and Dallas Goedert to the Giants for Kayvon Thibodeau and a fourth. And I love the deal. It's much more realistic than them trading for Trey Hendrickson. Much more realistic than them trading for T.J. Watt because Thibodeau's 24, 25 years old. He's still got 2 years left on his rookie deal if they pick up the fifth-year option. Howie Roseman's not trading for 30-something-year-olds that need $30 million a year. Howie will trade for a young guy. The process of this offseason is young, controllable players and saving money for Jalen Carter. And Thibodeau does all that. I think his power's still there. He's just not playing that great yet this year. Harris is an absentee father in Philly and North Jersey. Absolutely. And he will be in Washington at some point, Duck, as well. Once he moves on to the next big thing. You make major changes because he tasted success with Washington. Maybe. Until I hear Josh Harris say what Daryl Morey said, in theory, Daryl Morey can still get fired. Nick Nurse can still get fired. But look, this season is eerily similar for the Phillies as 22. We lost Joe Girardi on the 3rd or 4th of January? It was 30 games into the season. We're 19 into the season right now. But we're about 2 weeks away from maybe losing. Maybe? No, he was 50 games in. 50 games in. 22 and 28. It was 50 games in. Then we're 19. So we're about 30 games in. So we're about a month away from potentially Rob Thomson getting fired. It would make my day. Howie is building young with controllable contracts. He's confident in Fangio and Stout. Exactly. So that's what you do. Kayvon Thibodeau makes so much more sense. Now, I know he missed, what was his injury again? He missed 5 games last year with an injury. I forget what the injury was. 3rd and a 5th for a 4th, and you flip-flop Goddard for Thibodeau. And here's the thing. The Giants are interested in Dallas Goedert. The Giants are going to have a young quarterback next year. Most teams build backwards. Instead of building an offensive line, they go get a tight end for their young quarterback. It makes sense, right? It makes sense for both parties, the DeBona trade proposal. Love it. His actual whole mock draft yesterday, Anthony DeBona, that he put in the article was fantastic. That's why Howie traded CJ for a young busto line. Yeah. Howie always brings in guys that are bust somewhere else or that are, guys he scouted before and missed out on. Ready for Dan Sileo take? What is it? Uh-oh. You got 4 minutes left in the show. I couldn't keep CJ's contract. Exactly. Give me that Dan Silly Man take. I want to hear it before I wrap up. I mean, I'm a borderline Dan Sileo type when I'm talking about Rob Thomson and the Sixers. I remember Tim Jernigan. That was a Howie master. It was. That was a great move. I remember that. And he left for San Francisco, just like Hargrave, right? Or did he go to Green Bay, Jersey? I forget. I need this Nooms Dan Sileo take before I wrap this show up. But guys, while we're waiting for this bad take, like, share, subscribe. If Hurts is so good, why does he need a tight end so much, and why are we even having this conversation? He doesn't need a tight end. I mean, he wins without. I get what you're getting at. And my counter to that would be, Dallas Goedert misses like a dozen games a year, so he has one without Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert is a luxury we don't need. Becton, Saquon, Hargrave, etc. Those are Howie masterclasses. Absolutely. Has Hargrave signed with anybody yet? I know he was cut by the 49ers. Did he sign anywhere? We can always bring him in. It is. It does sound like it. I get what you're saying and why it sounds like a Sileo take. But I have an answer for every Sileo type take. I would say I am very Sileo-esque when I'm talking Phillies and Rob Thomson and Dave Dombrowski. I'll say that. I'm very Sileo-esque. He signed with the Vikings? Okay. I don't remember. Kind of must have slid under the radar a little bit there. But anyway, we're going to start the wrap-up process yet. Here, we got, like 9 people left watching. If all 9 of you hit that like button, please. All 9 of you hit that share button. All 9 of you hit subscribe. I would love to come on this show Monday morning and see at least 500 subscribers. So, guys, please, that would be this way, the share button. Phil is the cerebral Sileo. I pick and choose when to go crazy. I only have faith in Jeffrey and Howie. Everyone else in the city is trash. Look, I said it to kick off the show, Marshawn. At what point do we start criticizing Dave Dombrowski? He's the one that built this team. He's the one that kept the manager in place and the hitting coach in place. Dave Dombrowski deserves just as much criticism as Daryl Morey. Dave Dombrowski is like Nick Nurse. 1 title, and he's living off that fame. Doc Rivers, 1 title, living off that fame from ages ago. When do we criticize Dave Dombrowski? When? I don't know. A cerebral Sileo is like saying the smartest idiot. It's true. It's true. It's damn true. We should be criticizing Dombrowski underperforming hella bad. We should be. And I see. So I did 2 shorts yesterday, Marshawn. You might have seen them. First one was calling out Rob Thomson for his pregame comments of, well, if we win today, we'll be the same spot as we were last year. Yeah, a mediocre team. And I did the short on that. And then after that, I'm like, hold on a second. And I did another short calling out Dave Dombrowski because it's time. It's time to call him out. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, everybody have a fantastic weekend. Everybody have a fantastic Easter. If you celebrate, enjoy time with your family. We're going to go to Stottsville for dinner, maybe. Go to Stottsville Inn in Coatesville. Eric would know what that is. that is very spinny. Phillies have regressed every year. All fair comments. Hope you have a great Easter, guys. We'll be back next week. It's draft week. When we join this show on Friday or Monday, we will have 500 subscribers, I hope, and we'll be locking in for the NFL draft. I'm so locked and ready for it. No meat for me today. Oh, shit. I did kind of forget about that, Duck. I did kind of fry up some sausage links with my eggs this morning. Oops. Kind of forgot. Yes, enjoy your Easter, everybody. Easter to me is just a day off. Easter to me is just a day to chill at home. We're not doing anything big. Chill at home, maybe go to Stottsville for dinner. That's about it. Never was an Easter fan. I have no idea how it works, Noobs. No idea. I have to, once I hit 500, I got to even apply. I still got to apply once we hit that number. And then when we hit to 1,000, I got to apply for the revenue portion of it. So 500 gets the super chats activated, and I could start like a subscriber channel where you could pay for special content. And then at 1,000, you get access to YouTube revenue from ads and stuff. But each time you have to apply, and they have to evaluate your channel and stuff. So I don't even know how that works, but we'll get to that when that moment comes, Nooms. I got to come up with some really good shorts that'll give me a few more subscribers like yesterday. But anyway, with that being said, everybody have a great weekend, great Easter. We hit overtime today. So everybody have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Go Birds. Bubbles up to y'all.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.